This is Julien, and I'm here in Zurich, Switzerland, and what I'm going to do in this video here is trigger you when it comes to your financial success. You see, when it comes to being successful, there's so much focus on trying to make it happen, yet we rarely stop and address the part of ourselves that is unconsciously pushing success away. And that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be diving into all of the unconscious limitations, the limiting beliefs, the core beliefs that are holding you back, the childhood programming, the self-sabotaging behavior and patterns. We're going to bring them up. You're going to confront them so that you can finally let them go. So sit back, brace yourself, and enjoy. Who here wants to make more money? Everyone's like, me, right? No one's like, oh, no money for me. Everyone wants to make more money. However, if you audit your life, you've probably wanted to make more money for a long period of time, right? Did you want to make more money a year ago? Yes? No? Or did it just come about now? You're like, you know what, maybe today I want to make more money. Who here wanted to make money a year ago? What about a year before that, 2 years ago? Yeah. Everyone, probably from as long as you can remember, probably as, you're 5 years old, like, Papa, more money. Like, you all wanted to make more money. However, why is it that if you audit your life, we tend to stay stuck? Now here, this is Switzerland. You're probably not stuck at the very bottom, but we do tend to stay quite stuck. If you look at the past few years, the average amount that's been in your bank account, if I had to put a bet on it, I can guess or bet on that it's been the same. And it stays around the same. Even if you get a little influx of cash, you find your way back to what you know or what you believe you deserve. And this is key. When we look up money tips, there's all these little how-tos. Okay, you want to make more money? Start a business. You got to be a coach. You got to, do this internet marketing, drop shipping stuff. And I don't agree with all of that, including drop shipping. But there's some good stuff in there. But it doesn't work for most people. Why? Because they don't get to the cause. Meaning, of course you have to take action, and of course you need a path to make money. But if you don't analyze the mindsets you have around money, the core beliefs you have around money, nothing will change. It'll be very hard to make money, and whatever money you make, you will lose it. You all know the famous example of the person who wins the lottery, right? We all know it. Oh, people win the lottery, they never keep it, right? When I was a kid, I always thought stupid people won the lottery. I'm like, when will someone smart win the lottery? When they finally keep the money? Why do stupid people keep winning it? And it's not that they're stupid. It's just that when you win the lottery, you get more than what you think you deserve. You get more than what you think is congruent to you. Right now, you all have a core identity. You all have core beliefs. In that core identity, this is me, and this is what I deserve. If you make more than that, you will find a way back to what you know. If right now you believe that you only deserve X amount of money per month, and suddenly I'm like, here's $1 million. This is more than I deserve. And it sounds counterintuitive, but there's a part of you that's going to be not worthy, and you're going to push it away. And sometimes obvious ways, but sometimes subtle ways. Subtle ways like, I'm going to spend it on this luxury thing that I really need. And over time, you will find a way back to what you know. You will not be able to keep it. This is super common. You hear a lot of successful people say, hey, I made my first $1 million, but then I spent it all. Oh, what's the advice you tell your younger self? Don't squander my money. I've done it. I've squandered my money. When I started making a lot of money, I went from, again, being broke, homeless, living with cockroaches, to making a couple thousand a month, to suddenly making a lot more. And I was traveling at the time. I just had a suitcase, so I couldn't really, buy more. It's like my suitcase is full, but I really need to spend this money. And I'd find subtle ways. Oh, I need to upgrade this flight and this hotel and go to this restaurant. I remember I was in Sweden, and I went to a restaurant where the meal was $600, and then I got a wine bottle for $1,000. And then we went there every day of the week. So in my mind, I'm like, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity every day of the week. You find a way to squander it. Or, I need to invest in my health. Look at all these supplements, right? You go online, anyone into take supplements? I actually think it's quite key to take supplements. Be aware of what your body needs. Don't just take any supplement. But what would I do? I'd look up all these supplements, and you read all the benefits. And guess what? every supplement has a benefit. There's not a single supplement or vitamin that you scroll through and you're like, I don't need that. You're like, oh, I want that. Oh, I want that too. Oh, antioxidants, I want that as well. Oh, this is good for the heart. Oh, I want a good heart. Literally, all of them you want. And what happens? You just order all of them. And you're spending all your money, but in your mind you're like, well, it's necessary. You find a way back to what you know. So step one, when it comes to money mindsets, is bring your awareness to the core beliefs you have around money. What comes up when you hear the word money? A lot of people even have trouble talking about money. Just this topic, they're like, oh, this is a little uncomfortable. I don't like talking about money. Let's just keep it chill. It's like talking about religion or politics. You're taught from a young age, don't ever talk about that. Keep it very chill. The same with money. Don't talk about how much money you make. Don't you dare ever ask anyone how much money they make. It's very taboo, right? But for real, what comes up around money? If you had to write down money equals, how would you fill in the blanks? Money equals ... Now, that's beautiful. Someone's like, freedom. And that's the conscious thoughts. Oh, what's money? Freedom, abundance, so on and so forth. But I did a challenge recently, and these were the beliefs that did come up when people are being true with themselves, when they're being honest with themselves. This is what came up around money. Money equals scarce. There's not much of it. Money equals sacrifice. To make money, you got to make sacrifices. It doesn't come easy. Money is evil. Money is bad. Money requires a lot of effort. You got to put in a lot of work. If you look at your life right now and you're not putting in a lot of work, money is not for you. People who make money, they work a lot. They're very disciplined. Money is scary. There's a lot of responsibility when you have money. People are out to get you. They want your money. Money equals being a sellout. You got to compromise your authenticity. If you do what you love, you won't make money. Money is greed. Only greedy people make money. Are you selfish? Those are the people who make money. They only care about themselves, not others. Money is not spiritual. That's actually a really common one pumped in the spiritual world. If you're spiritual, you give up all material possessions. Go live in a hut. Give up all money. You can't be spiritual and have money. You got to look like a bum. Only homeless people can be spiritual. Money is toxic. It poisons relationships. It's not good for you. Money is hard to get. You can get it, but it's very hard to get. Money takes a long time to get. You can't get it fast. It requires years of effort, years of discipline, years of work, years of mastery. Money equals a lot of stress. Money equals a lot of pressure. Money, like having a lot of money, is unfair to others. You're screwing other people over by making money. Money is dangerous. Money corrupts. Money attracts and creates problems. That's what comes up. And funny enough, this is how a lot of us are conditioned. If I ask you, what do you think about the 1%? Great people? You like the 1%? No, there's whole movements that hate the 1%. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think 1%? You think greedy people, Donald Trump, Wall Street, bankers. They're selfish, they're screwing people over, they keep all the money for themselves. Did you know that most of the money in the world was controlled by a small group of individuals? The 1%. If they only shared, guess what? We'd solve hunger problems in the world, we'd solve poverty in the world. It's all the 1%. Anyone here hate the 1%? Now, if there's a part of you that's like, yeah, screw the 1%. You might be in groups that hate the 1%. You might see articles saying, the 1% at it again. Here's the catch. If you don't like the 1%, you are guaranteeing a future where you remain quite poor financially. You will not allow yourself to become wealthy. Why? Because guess what? If you think that being wealthy, being the 1% is bad, those are corrupt people. Now, to be clear, are there corrupt people in the 1%? Of course. Of course. But there are corrupt people everywhere. What I'm saying is, what does it do to your psychology? If you think the 1% is the worst people ever, Will you allow yourself to be wealthy? No, because if you allow yourself to be wealthy, who do you become? The 1%. You become one of those greedy people. The people who ruin the world. The people who are selfish, who keep the money. The people who cause world hunger. Do you want to be that? Yeah. No. Someone's like, yes. No. And this is the key. This is what you really have to bring your awareness to when it comes to core beliefs, is that there is a part of you, unconsciously, that is pushing money, that is pushing success away. Consciously, of course, you want to make money. But if there's a part of you that's like, money is bad, 1% is bad, you're going to push it away because you don't want to be bad. Okay? Another example is, money is a lot of responsibility. You might believe that. To make a lot of money, you need to be very disciplined, dedicate a lot of time, be very focused. And you might look at your life and be like, well, I'm not very focused. I'm kind of a lazy person. What do I do in my free time? I come home after my job, after my studies. I throw on some Netflix and I chill. Right? I put Netflix a bit, masturbate a bit, put YouTube a bit, masturbate a bit, get a little tired, eat a bit, masturbate some more, put some Netflix on and pass out. Now, this is funny in a way, but it's also quite sad because a lot of those laughters are laughters of recognition. And I know this. Well, one, my past, when I was very miserable, that was a lot of my days, was trying to escape my days, where I'd come home and literally it was like food, TV, masturbation. And I also know this because literally a lot of the clients, 95%, I'd say that's how they spend their free time. I ask them, what do you do in your free time? It's like, well, I come home and I watch YouTube. YouTube's a big one. And it's, I guess, better than Netflix because you're learning. And then it's masturbate, YouTube, and sleep. Every day. That's their lives. If they audit their day-to-day life, it's obligations, whether it's job, studies, and then porn, Netflix, YouTube, sleep. It's quite sad. Okay, but say that's you, that's your life. You look at it, you're like, well, am I very disciplined? No. I can't even keep my hand. I don't think money's for me. If money only goes to people who are very disciplined and work a lot, and I don't work a lot, then it's not for me. And that reinforces that belief, and guess what? Part of you is going to push money away. Right? If you believe money corrupts people, this is common in the artistic world. If you're someone who's very artistic, you might be a musician, so on and so forth, or an artist, you're like, you know what? I don't want to sell out on my art. And there's a certain pride in being poor. Where you're like, okay, well, I see some people make money, but this is what keeps my art authentic. I don't want money. I don't want to sell out my art. Look at all those musicians. As soon as they put their first record or 2 records out and they blow up, their records just go downhill. Money corrupts their craft. So I'm going to push it away to stay the poor artist because that's my identity. That is me. So it's very important to bring your awareness to these core beliefs. And don't give yourself the right answer. Give yourself the real answer. Because right off the bat, if you think about it, like someone said, money is freedom. You write it down like, money, here's all the good things about it. But how do you really feel? Money. Here's another audit. How do you feel when you see someone making money? Do you feel triggered? Do you feel jealous? Do you feel angry? Or do you celebrate that person making money? This is something I would see where, say you're at an event. I went to Tony Robbins' event. This is a few years ago. It's Business Mastery. Amazing event. However, the whole event is him sharing, of course, some content. There's different speakers, but everyone's selling their program at the end of their speech. And I would hear some people get a little upset by that. They're like, oh, why are they selling the program? We're here. And I'm like, well, I guess that could be a concern. If there was no value and all they were doing was selling, I guess it's a concern. But why aren't you happy for them making money? Why does that trigger you? Why are you like, oh, they shouldn't be selling? Why aren't you celebrating when you see someone make money? Because chances are, if you resist seeing someone make money, what are you doing for yourself? Same thing. There's that same resistance to you succeeding. When I see someone being happy, I'm not like, oh, why are they so happy? I'm like, great, that's awesome. I see someone winning, great, that's awesome. But that's not the default. For most people, it's like, why are they happy? They shouldn't be happy, don't they know? Why are they making money? They're stealing it. They're selfish trying to make that money. As opposed to great, you know what? Great, win. The more we win, the better. And what does that also reinforce? A lot of scarcity around money. We think that if one person makes money, it's taking money out of our pocket. Well, if they make it, they made it all. No more for me. But that's not true. So this is very important. As a first audit, sit down with yourself and do this at home. Write down money equals and just see what flows out. Don't judge it. Don't give the right answer. It's like, how do I feel? Money. You can even say things out loud. This might trigger some sensations of resistance. I deserve a lot of money. Saying that out loud, you might feel like, ugh. For real, like I deserve a lot of money. It just doesn't feel natural to say. I deserve to make a lot of money. Does it feel natural? You know, I deserve to be successful. Money is abundant. Money is everywhere. Money is for me. What comes up when you say that? Okay, super valuable. Because more often than not, at this point, with all the self-help content that's out there, you know the how-to. You all have a certain lane where you know you could be making more money. The problem is there is a force inside of you that is out of your awareness that is simultaneously pushing that away. Don't forget this. If this clicks, it'll change your life. Part of you is always trying to make success happen, but there's another part that's always pushing it away at the same time. We only focus on making it happen, yet we never address the part of you that's like, no, not for me. You can't let it land. You can't resonate with it. So core beliefs, key. Okay? Beyond that, core identity. How much money do you deserve to have? Do that audit. Look at your bank account the past few years. What's it been at? What do you keep being pulled back to? What's your ceiling of success when it comes to money? You're like, okay, I'm making money, cool, saving. You know, we all have it. It's like, I'm doing good. And then you pass this point, and then the bad habits kick in. Ooh, I have a little extra money. You know, I should treat myself. Buy some supplements. Oh, I should treat myself. Let's go to that restaurant in Sweden. Spend thousands of dollars. The little habits kick in, and the money starts seeping out. And you find your way back below what you think you deserve. How much money do you deserve? Look at your bank account, it'll tell you. How much money do you realistically see yourself having in your bank account? We all say billions or millions, but that's not true. Or you'd have that. Where is it at? What does it make sense for you to have? You can also test yourself with what environments does it make sense for you to be in? A challenge I give people in my program, Transformation Mastery Academy, is I make them go out to a very classy store. And you can do this, okay? Go to a classy store like, say, Rolex, Cartier, something like that, where there's a security person in front. Go there, dress normally. Don't dress up for the occasion, dress normally. And the security person lets you in. Walk up to a salesperson. This is the challenge. If you get triggered by this, it means there's a part of you that doesn't think you belong there. There's resistance around being, surrounded by money or being in those expensive environments. Go up to the salesperson, and they're probably going to look at you. They're going to judge what you're wearing. They're like, and ask them, I'd like to see your most expensive watch. Or I'd like to see the most expensive necklace or bracelet you have here. Whatever it is, just say the most expensive ... Please go get it for me. Now, what are they immediately going to do? Look you up and down again to make sure it's like, wait a minute. Can this person even afford it? And you're like, yeah, please go get it. Wait for them to go get it. They'll bring it. Then you have to hold it. You can look at it. Like, oh, it's a really nice watch. And then ask them the price again. How much is the watch? And they're like, 200,000 or whatever, 400,000. I don't know. And when they give you the price, well, thank you. Your response is then, that's it. I was looking for something more expensive. Thanks anyway, and leave. When you say that, it's going to trigger, most likely, a lot in you. Because you're literally saying, you know what? Your most expensive item, it's too cheap for me. And you're like, what? And if there is any part of you that feels uncomfortable, even hearing this, you're like, oh, that is something to dive into. Because that is part of you saying, this environment is not for me. I don't even deserve to be asking to see the most expensive thing. Not even about buying. If you feel uncomfortable asking to see it, that is something to let go of. It's like, I don't even deserve to ask. I don't even deserve to look at the most expensive thing. That's beyond what I deserve in my little horrible core identity. and then being judged, like, do I even belong here? If you even feel tense or uncomfortable in that environment, oh, this environment's too fancy for me. I don't belong, not worthy. That is gold that you must let go of. That's one challenge. You can also do this even with expensive restaurants. Go to the most expensive restaurant and just sit there and order a coffee or a tea or something and just hang out in there by yourself and see the stares and see if you can feel comfortable in that environment. What gets triggered inside of you? If you do get triggered, once more, what does it mean? There's a force in you that is pushing that away. This is not for me. If that's still alive, it doesn't matter how much effort you put in making it happen. Willpower, this is not for me, will always win. You will find a way back to what you know and what you believe you deserve. So core beliefs, core identity, what I deserve, my ceiling of success, tune into that, become aware of it, and let go of it. Beyond that, learn to see money for what it is. What is it? It's just paper and ink. That's it. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just paper and ink. It's a tool. It's not a goal. You know, it's funny, like, what's your goal in life? To make this much money. Well, why? What is money? It's simply a tool, which allows you to do more of what you're after, what you love doing. If your goal is to help more people, it allows you to help more people. If your goal is to travel, it allows you to travel more. That's all it does. It won't make you happy. It won't fulfill you. If right now your goal is to fill that void inside, I don't feel very good inside of me. I need to, numb myself and medicate myself and distract myself. What's money going to do? It's simply going to help you do more of that. Instead of going to the bar and being like, what's the cheapest drink you have to numb my sadness? Now you can go to the bar and be like, what's the most expensive drink you have to numb my sadness? It will help you numb your sadness, but the sadness will still be there. The same with distraction. Maybe now it's like, well, I'm broke. I feel bored. I have no purpose. I don't feel too good. Those negative thoughts are kicking up, but I have the PlayStation 4. Let me play PlayStation 4 to distract myself. Say you make money. Now you can travel and go on a yacht. But guess what? It's the same thing. Instead of playing the PlayStation to distract myself, I'm now going to go on the yacht to distract myself. You're still distracting yourself. It doesn't solve anything. Money is simply a tool that allows you to do more of what you're doing, that helps you accomplish your goal, whatever that goal is. So your goal can't be money. What is your goal? And that's why it's so key to tune into your purpose. And then what is money? It's something that allows you to do more of your purpose. But if money is the end goal, it's not going to work. And this is very important. See it for what it is. Remove the negative core beliefs, but also remove the glamour we project on it. We think money will solve everything. Just throw money at the problem. No. Money's the solution. We overblow it into this thing that it is not. And then we crave it. And that is something that you must also let go of. The more you need money, here's another catch, the more you will also push money away. Why? Because you need to keep needing it. Needing money becomes your comfort zone. This is the catch with any kind of need or craving. If right now you're like, I really need money, and that's what you feel on a day-to-day basis. I need it, I need it, I need it. That feeling of need becomes your comfort zone. You become addicted to that feeling of need. What happens if someone's like, okay, here's the money. You're going to be like, no, because then I can't need it anymore. What will I feel if I have it? So you will actually push it away to keep needing it. So it'll cause a lot of self-sabotage. And even if you do happen to get it despite the self-sabotage, you're still going to become more obsessed with money. You'll see this with people who somehow make money, say, out of luck, and say they don't lose it yet with that poverty mindset, like the person who wins the lottery. They'll just double down and become obsessed with the need. They use it to reinforce the need. It's like, oh, but every little penny, and it eats them up inside. So remove the glamour. Don't over-glorify it. Money is just paper and ink. Not a big deal. It's a tool, not a goal. Money is everywhere. You can practice saying this at home if there's resistance, something to dive into. It is everywhere, especially nowadays with the invention of the internet. That was something I also saw in the challenge around money that I did. I saw the different core beliefs that came up. And then I said, okay, what are some ways that you could inject some money into your life. And there was a few comments saying, you know what, Julien? I live in a very poor country. There's not much money around. I guess I'm stuck. What was my comment? BS. You know why? Sure, your country might be poor, completely broke, but guess what? You're commenting, it was in a Facebook group, you're commenting here online. You're not stuck anymore. You're not stuck in your country. You have access to everyone who's online. We all do. Money is everywhere. Opportunities to make money are everywhere. All of you in this room right now, or if you're watching this online, you can inject money into your life. You have no excuse. But there are 3 rules. Rule number 1, respect yourself. It's as easy as that. You want to make more money beyond everything that we talked about? Respect yourself. And forgive my horrible handwriting. So let's take my favorite example of this. I have an event that I do. I'm actually doing it this Saturday. It's called Transformation Mastery Live. It's a paid event. It's $297. In Switzerland, that's the equivalent of 2 drinks in a club. Now, I'll mention at the end of, say a free event like this. I'm like, you know what? I'll mention at the end, there's this event that's $297. And I'll hear people say, you know what? That's just too expensive. I don't have it. And as soon as I hear that, and I ask them, I make sure, I'm like, okay, but you do want to come, right? You do see the value. Because it's different if they don't. If they're like, you know what? I don't see the value. I don't want to come. Okay, I can respect that. But if they see the value, and they do want to come, but their excuse is, I don't have $297, that is a clear sign that they don't respect themselves. And people get very triggered when I say this. If you don't have $297 handy, you are pathetic. People get really upset. I put this out in a YouTube video, and there's a comment saying, are you calling me pathetic for not having that? And I even answered, I'm like, yes. Yes. If it's by choice, then no. If it's by choice where you're like, you know what, for this period of my life, I want to do this thing, and I'm going to be a little broke, then I totally respect that. But if it's not by choice, yes, that is absolutely pathetic. Why? Take this example. If a kid can make that money babysitting, what excuse do you have? If a drug fiend can make money to find, their next hit of heroin, what excuse do you have? For real. If right now you're in a comfortable situation, there's a routine, and you have free time, you can use that free time to make more money. But you got to kill your ego, right? Here's one way. No matter who you are, walk out in the street on your free time. You can walk out in Zurich and walk up to strangers and say, hey, 10 francs, and I'll sing you a song. Do you think people will give you 10 francs?
I've done it, they do.
They do, right? They literally, they actually do. They might not be blown away from the song, but I can guarantee you someone's going to be like, I'm a little curious about this song. And they'll give you 10 francs. If you spend 2-3 hours a day, instead of going home and playing PlayStation or watching YouTube or Netflix and masturbating, and you went out in the street, of course it's going to hurt your ego. You're not going to feel very comfortable. And you just walk up to strangers, one after the other. You're like, hey, $10 and I'll sing you the song. I have this great song. Trust me, $10. Do you want to hear it? It's going to blow your mind. And you just one by one, you might make 30, 40, $50 a day. Right? Now seeing that, you're like, well, I don't have 297. You don't respect yourself. Go out. Oh, but it just feels too comfortable to stay and watch Netflix and masturbate. Yeah. The best frame to sink into here, and I've talked about this in a few videos, is the jail frame. Do you know this frame? You know that one? He knows that one. He's like, I've been. Well, let's just say, I'll take you as an example. What's your name?
Adar.
What?
Adar.
Adar. So let's just say, Adar, you don't have 297, hypothetically. And say right now, you're like, well, Julien, I just don't have the money. And say suddenly, boom, this free tour crowd is gone. Okay? Boom, the crowd's gone, and now you're in jail. And it's not the Swiss-friendly jail. Let's just say it's a ghetto jail. Okay, and it's you in a cell, and there's two big thugs. Tattooed up, huge, and you're just like, it's not going down well. And they're coming up to you, and they're like, Dar, you know what's going down. Here's some soap, bend over, let's get it done. And say you're there, you're bent over, and they're coming in, and you're just like, oh. And I appear in front of you. I'm like, not naked or anything. I'm like, and I'm right in front of you, right there. I'm like, Adar, $297, and I'll get you out of jail right now. You have 1 day, and say for 1 day you appear out of jail, and you have to find the money. Are you going to find that money? Yeah, because it's a big deal. You're like, if I don't find the $297, it's going down. And Julien's going to be watching, you know? You're going to find it. Why? Because it's a big deal. Now, here's the key. Why don't you respect yourself enough to do this automatically? If it takes for you to be in jail to, say, go out and sing the song in the street, why don't you do that by default? Why are you not a big deal? Once more, a sign of low self-respect. Pathetic. Okay, so that's rule number 1. Respect yourself. You are a big deal. Don't wait to be put in jail to start taking yourself and your life seriously. And it's the same with things you procrastinate on. Oh, I keep putting this task off. It's not comfortable. Say you were in jail, and I'm like, okay, to get out of jail, you got to do the task. Are you going to do it? Yes or no? Yes. Like, no. Yeah, of course you are. Rule number 2. Be resourceful. Okay? What does that mean? Think outside the box. Like I said, go sing a song. What's one way? And you can sit down with yourself and write down even 3 ways. What's 1 to 3 ways that I could inject more money into my life right now? You could even babysit. Now, what are you thinking? I'm above that. Hey, if it gets more money in your life, it doesn't mean you have to do this forever. But if it injects that money, why not? Well, I'd rather just sit at home and watch PlayStation. What about driving for Uber? Well, I'm above that. I don't want to be an Uber driver. If it injects more money, why not? This doesn't have to be long-term either, by the way. It's to inject enough to open up more opportunities where you can then make more. Respect yourself, be resourceful, think outside the box, and pride yourself in this. This also comes from a book, A Great Mindset. It comes from a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Read this book if you haven't already. And what he says in the book is, eliminate I can't afford it from your mind. Completely. Every time you think that, nuke it. No matter what the price is. You might even go do that jewelry store challenge. And it's like, $400,000. And in your mind, like, I could never afford that. No. Delete that. Change it to, how can I afford that? Now it gets your mind thinking. Now you're looking for solutions. How could I afford this? Doesn't have to be now. Well, in the next year, how could I afford this? How can I live my life so I reach a point where I could afford this? I can't afford it is you just giving up. It quiets the mind. I can't afford it. Your mind's like, okay, let's think about Netflix. How can I afford it? Be resourceful. Find a way. And then 3, of course, take action. One thing I'll say too, by the way, with the money is there's this famous saying, you can't save your way to prosperity. Okay, don't forget that. You cannot save your way there. Is it important to save money? Yes. But save money once you're in a situation where you're making money. When you're at the bottom, you spend money to open up doors and opportunities where you can make more money and then save then. Don't save when you're at the bottom. Spend when you're at the bottom. Move up. Save when you're at the top. In terms of being resourceful too, be very aware of where money comes from. If you can't answer that question, you're already screwed. Where does money come from? We tend to think like it's this invisible factory that prints it out and some people have it. The factory gives it to the 1% and maybe we get the drops that fall over. No, where does money come from?
Giving value.
Other people's wallets. That's it. Where does money come from? Look around you. That's where it comes from. Other people's wallets. There's no magical factory. It comes from other people. They have it. It's in their wallet. How do you make money? You got to think, how can I get that person to take their wallet out of their pocket, to take the money out of their wallet, and to hand it to me? That's how you make money. That's it. It's harsh, but true. That's where it comes from. How can I get them to take their wallet and be like, here. Singing a song was one example. $10, I'll sing a song. Ultimately, how do you do it? By providing value, by serving them, by helping them. And this is the beauty of it. The more you help others, the more they take their wallets, they take the money, and they hand it to you. That's how you make money. You get obsessed with helping others by providing value. Now you might be thinking, well, I have nothing to offer. Okay, at least you're aware of that. Start cultivating value. What can you do right now to build value so you have something to offer, so you can help others? Julien, I'm at the bottom myself. Okay, well, do something that you can then offer. That's the focus. Always be thinking, how can I help others so they give me money? So they take it out of their pockets and give it to me. And what this also means, and this goes back to that core belief or core identity, is don't sell yourself short. Because this is the other trap. You get it. Okay, other people have money. I'm going to provide value. I'm going to work on my value. And then you get all the value. And then you're like, here's the value. And I charge you 10 cents. Because I have no self-worth. And I feel very uncomfortable charging you more than 10 cents. I'm not worthy to charge you more than 10 cents. And they sell themselves short. No. If you're providing value, charge an amount that is appropriate to that value. And be shameless about it. If you're genuinely helping others, be shameless. That is you, once more, going back to respect yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Too many people do that. They provide value, but they don't feel comfortable asking for money. Here's what you have to realize, too. What does money do? It makes people take the value you're offering seriously. Right? Take an event like this. It's free. I go above and beyond, as always. But because it's free, I know a lot of what I'm saying here is just going to float above your heads. And you're not going to execute on it. I know 90% of you, this talk, although in my opinion it's very genius, because I don't sell myself short, 90% of you are just sitting here like, he's talking, I'm not going to implement any of this, and I'm going to go back to my regular life and not have money and be broke. And that's normal. It's a free event. There's nothing at stake. Say you paid $1,000 to be here tonight. Would it be different? Would your experience of this speech be different? Yes. First of all of you would be taking notes. If this was $1,000, you'd have your notepad and you'd be taking notes on everything. Even things you think like, maybe this is not important. Doesn't matter, write it down, it's $1,000. As opposed to, oh, this is a fun thing. Oh, yeah, oh, Julien, yes, keep going. Yes, very interesting. Oh, I'm not taking it. I'll remember, but if not, it's free, so it doesn't matter. There's no incentive. There's no skin in the game. Say you paid $5,000 for this speech. Be very different. It would also be very different in terms of taking control of your selective focus, your RAS. If this is a free event, you can be very loose with your focus. If suddenly say you paid $5,000 for this event, $5,000 for this speech, and your zone, like suddenly that will take control of your focus, and you'll be like, okay, how am I going to get a return on this $5,000? And you're going to be thinking that way. Instead of this is fun content, how can I use this to make my money back and make more? And you're going to filter everything through, how will this get me a return on my investment? It changes everything. So remind yourself of that. If you offer value and it's like free, some people might execute on it, but most won't. For them to take it seriously, there must be some skin in the game, and that's what money does. And that's the whole beauty of it. You help others. There's the money. That allows them to be helped even more, and it allows you to help even more people, because what is money? A tool that helps you with your goal. You get it?